Let me know if I got something here, because I thought this was a moment. Everybody's always looking at officiating in the playoffs. Always. Steve Kerr, even on this show, made an issue of flopping. I thought completely fair. I had made an issue of flopping. I don't mind missed calls, but I do not appreciate when I see massive human beings flying to the floor and into the stands as well. And yes, for those of you who want to say all teams do it, there were a number of flops. Mainly Jordan Poole. I saw a couple on the defensive end by the Warriors last night. I don't like them. And I do love what Steve said about the FIBA rules. But put that aside for a second, and you tell me if we got action here. Because listen, at the first Chris Haynes, and I know you love him, Dibs, at the first Chris Haynes report of the night, he is over in Darvin Ham's pocket, over on the Laker bench, and listen closely to the exchange that takes place.
Coach Ham, I have to ask you because I just saw it. Your reaction to Dennis Schroeder, I guess, not getting the foul at that point. Is that something you saw? Thought it was a missed call?
Yeah, we don't teach flopping. We teach our players to play downhill and attack the paint and be forceful.
Okay, there are a couple things to notice here. First of all,
it's Schroeder, not Schroeder.
It's Schroeder, not Schroeder.
Thank you.
And if you're going to text with high-profile Laker players, you should know how to pronounce their names, Chris. But I digress. Second thing, Chris Haynes asks Darvin Ham about a Schroeder drive to the hole, where Schroeder ended up in the camera pit. By the way, he went there on his own. He did not get fouled. Replay proved it. I don't want to argue with you. It wasn't a foul. But Schroeder...
Did he get the call?
No. The refs did not call it.
Man.
Hashtag Zach Zarba.
You're welcome.
Okay?
Thank you.
But Schroeder's in the first row. Why? Because that's where Schroeder goes when the ball doesn't go in the hole. We'll go to the first row, fall down, and see if we can get a foul. The Lakers don't get the call. They want the call. This is on offense. Listen again to the question, and you tell me if this answer has anything to do with the question at all.
Coach Ham, I have to ask you because I just saw it. Your reaction to Dennis Schroeder, I guess, not getting the foul at that point. Is that something you saw? Thought it was a missed call?
Yeah, we don't teach flopping. We teach our players to play downhill and attack the paint and be forceful.
Coach, did you think that was a foul on the last play when Dennis Schroeder ran to the hoop? Yeah, we don't teach flopping. That was the first time Darvin Ham could speak publicly after Steve Kerr's comments. I believe that if Chris Haynes had asked Darvin Ham, hey, Coach, what did you have for your pregame meal tonight? Darvin's answer would have been, yeah, we don't teach flopping. My point is this, Dibs. Steve Kerr got to him. And
to Darvin Ham.
And they got into the Lakers' heads, all people not named LeBron, in my opinion. And it might be a sign of vulnerability for tomorrow night, because where the Warriors, outside of their talent, usually are able to take teams down in the playoffs is they are mentally stronger.
Right.
We watched it in round one. We'll see about round two because you're going against LeBron. But that, to me, that was not where Darvin Ham's head should be in that moment.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with you because, and I'm looking at the play right now, that was the last play of the quarter. So Chris Haynes immediately goes over to him, and Darvin Ham is responding not only to the play, but I do believe you're right about he's responding to Steve Kerr, implying that the Lakers do teach flopping. So to the extent that he got into Darvin Ham's head, he may have. And Darvin Ham, I'm sure, heard the comments right here on 95.7 The Game that Steve Kerr made with you and I a couple of days ago. And so Darvin Ham is definitely feeling some kind of way about the implication that they are teaching flopping. Now, Dennis Schroeder, or Schroeder, depending on who you ask, shout out Julian from Germany who joined us live yesterday, our exclusive guest from the Warriors shop.
Where the hell was everyone coming from yesterday? We talked to like 5 people, or like we flew into the game.
It was incredible.
Dusseldorf,
Canada,
like people,
all that.
Like, man.
I don't believe that Steve Kerr got in the head of Dennis Schroeder, because Schroeder goes to the hoop the way Jordan Poole goes to the hoop, which is, I'm going headlong. I'm going to put the ball up, I'm looking for a body, and I'm going to the ground. So I don't believe that the Warriors got to Dennis Schroeder or Anthony Davis or any other player. Now, Darvin Ham's response was wildly out of context, so I do think that what you're saying about that is accurate. I'm supporting you 100%, but I think that Dennis Schroeder plays the way Dennis Schroeder does, and I'm looking at the play right here, and he drives between Clay and Poole. Poole maybe wants to foul him, but doesn't get there soon enough. Clay is literally backing away, and yet Schroeder throws it up and slides all the way into the first row.
Slide, slippity slide.
Totally.
It is not even close to a foul. It is not even
close to a foul, but it's...
Well, I mean, the people were close to each other. It's not a foul.
And you know why that they didn't call a foul?
It's certainly not one that calls for a sideline interview. I mean, it's almost like Darvin was like, hey, Chris, that's not what I told you to ask.
Right.
I told you to ask me about Steve Kerr's comments and flopping, so I'm going to give you answer number 1A, but you asked me about a nothing play. There's a nothing play. There's nothing to see here.
I'm looking at the play right now, Mark. Warriors lead 32-28 at the end of one, and as the beloved Zach Zarba,
He's a good-looking man.
He looks at it. He doesn't even think about blowing the whistle. Schroeder remains on the ground for a long period of time.
Because he was very hurt.
Yeah.
Because aren't they all the time?
Yeah.
And once again, no homerism. This is what Poole does too. You're absolutely right. There are too many plays. This is what Luka suffers from in Dallas. There are too many plays where these guys, Schroeder is saved because the buzzer goes off. If the buzzer doesn't go off, you know what happens? 5-on-4. We're going the other way.
Now, forensics comes out with one of those chalk outlines. Because, I mean, Schroeder might have died on the play.
Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing that I think gets people going, is you go to the hole, you don't get the call. Believe me, as somebody who couldn't jump, I know the game. If you blocked my shot in high school, oh my gosh, I went to the ground and I'm holding an ankle and I'm looking at you like, why would you do that to me? I can't believe you did that. In my mind, I'm like, he got all ball. He got all ball. But
you were an embellisher?
Oh my gosh. I could shoot a free throw. I could shoot a free throw.
Get me to the stripe.
Yeah, get me to somewhere where someone's not going to be in my way because I can't jump over you. So, yes, I get the game. I used to play the game. But this is the NBA, man. You all are the best athletes on the planet.
Yeah.
And you're better than that. And so that's why this issue has even come up. And the fact that it was in the head coach of the Lakers' mouth and mind.
Immediately,
on
right?
the sideline of Game 5. So forget the idea that the players aren't thinking about it. And by extension, Dibs, the referees. The reason you do what Steve Kerr did is because it's impossible to ignore once you do it. It's in the backs of everyone's minds. You can sit there and say, I'm Zach Zarba. I'm not changing the way I call. But the second you see a Laker on the floor, you're like, okay, was that one of those flops? Was that one of the flops that Steve was talking about the night before?
Right.
It's impossible to remove from your brain. So, yes, I do think it's in their heads, and the officials too. And could that change the way tomorrow night's officiated? I mean, it certainly looked like it changed the way last night was officiated. Maybe that's just because the Warriors were at home.
Right.
Or maybe we got to change.
Maybe, or, perhaps it's just a case where you tip your cap to Zach Zarba and company because it was a well-officiated game. And the Lakers did shoot 6 free throws in that first quarter to the Warriors 1. So the free throw disparity was on display in the first quarter. Now, both teams wound up, I think, with the equal amount of free throw attempts. I think it was 15-15 for the ball game.
For the ball game?
Yeah, I believe so. And
you might be right.
Yeah,
You
12-15, 14-15.
Yeah, Warriors made 2 more.
And the Warriors were called for 1 more foul than the Lakers. So for all the Warrior sycophants out there, all the Warrior fanboys and fangirls, and the non-binary fans who want to rip the officials, you got a whistle last night, everybody. You got the whistle your way. Now, I know things were even, but if you think about the historical trends, the Lakers shoot more free throws than any team in the association, and the Warriors are near the bottom. So if you have a game where fouls are even and free throws are even, it's fair to say You got the whistle your way.
I would agree with you. However, I would like to point out the Warriors did a much better job. Best of the 5 games for sure in going to the hole. They were very aggressive.
Right. And defending without fouling. Yeah, I think both ends. You're right.
They shot 35 threes.
That's all?
For them, that's nothing. That's nothing.
Right.
They barely shot more than the Lakers. The Lakers shot 27. So for the Warriors, that's a very low number of three-point attempts. I thought they kept the pace high. They attacked the basket. They got rewarded for it. It also speaks, the fact that there were only 30 free throws in the whole game speaks to the fact that it was a game where they let them play. They let some physicality go. I think as you get late in a series, fans want that. I think the players are owed that. I do think that does not hurt the Warriors.
Oh, it helps them big time.
They've got, and this is nothing against LeBron or AD, but they don't try to do on the defensive end what Draymond does. The Warriors have, they have the more aggressive defenders.
Well, they have to.
Draymond, GP2, and the like. And
think about it in terms of how you have to play defense. You've got LeBron James. You've got no physical match. Anthony Davis, you have no physical match. The Lakers are trying to guard Steph Curry, a finesse player for the most part, Klay Thompson, a jump shooter, and Draymond Green, who's not exactly a physical offensive player. At times he'll drive to the hoop, but he's not going to try to bully you down in the post. So by the very nature of the matchups, the Warriors have to play more physically.
Right, and they did. They got real physical under the hoop with LeBron a couple of times.
Yeah, they did.
And a few of those times nothing got called. I know. No. Well, and speaking of LeBron and flopping, I don't think they got to LeBron because I don't think LeBron's gettable.
No.
And this answer was because he was directly asked. That's why the Ham thing stood out to me, because I'm like, Darvin, nobody asked you about flopping. LeBron was asked about flopping. And we'll get a load of this.
I just know that we, our coaching staff and us players, we don't work on flopping. That's not even a part of our game. Our game is to attack the paint. We don't mind physical contact. We actually like the contact, and we don't shy away from it. So we're just not a team that goes out there and looking for flopping opportunities. That's just not us. It's actually never been any team that I've played on in my 20 years where we've been a flopping team. But it is what it is. They have the right to say what they want to say. But the game is always won in between the 4 lines, and we got to be better on Friday for sure.
Did he just say that flopping has never been a part of any team that he's played for in 20 years?
Well, they've never worked on flopping. That's kind of what he's saying. Like, all right, guys, today we're going to work on free throws, press break, and flopping.
Well, you don't practice it, but you just do. Like, it's within the framework of the game. Yeah, you do. Like, that is learned behavior, flopping in the NBA. It's part of the culture. And every announcer has talked about it. Every coach has talked about it since this came up. And LeBron is one of the best in the game at it. Do you think that human being would ever fall over? That human being?
LeBron?
Would ever? He's a truck. Why are you on the ground so much? Because you know how to flop. You do it really well.
It works.
Yeah, exactly right.
So why would you not work on things that are effective tools to help you win games?
I think it's well said.